Ever notice how a movie can suddenly take you right out of the moment?
Oh, totally.
Like you're invested in the story and then bam, something just feels off.
Yeah, like a totally wrong detail. Happens to me all the time.
Right, it's like you're watching a historical drama and there's a digital clock radio on the bedside table.
Or like a super modern art piece just hanging out in a dusty old detective's office.
Hmm.
Jarring.
Totally. It's wild how our brains pick up on that stuff even if we don't consciously realize it.
It's like subconscious set design critique. We're all critics.
Exactly. And it makes you appreciate all the thought that goes into getting those details right.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is why today we're digging into a role that's all about creating that authenticity,
Okay, I'm intrigued.
the set buyer. And our guide for this deep dive is RoleCatcher and their awesome career guide on, well, set buyers.
I've heard of RoleCatcher. Good stuff. So set buyers,
Yep.
they're the ones who find all the cool stuff, right?
Exactly. But it's way more than just like having good taste.
Oh, for sure.
They have a huge impact on how believable a scene is, the time period, the characters' personalities, everything.
It's all about selling the story, right? Through the stuff you see on screen.
Exactly. So I'm curious, where do they even begin? Do they just get a script, a blank check, and go wild at antique stores?
Well, if only.
Right.
No, it actually starts with, well, a lot of reading and analyzing.
Oh, so like homework.
Kind of.
Mm.
The set buyer reads the script almost like a detective looking for clues.
Woo, okay, I like that. They're searching for clues about what objects and what kind of vibe each scene needs.
Exactly. They have to figure out what objects belong in that world, in that time, with those characters.
So they're like the Sherlock Holmes of props, but instead of a magnifying glass, they've got a bottomless budget.
Huh. More like a really, really organized spreadsheet.
Right, right. It's not just about cool stuff, it's about the right stuff.
Exactly. And all within budget, of course.
Which makes me wonder, they're not doing this solo, right? Like there's got to be a whole team involved.
Oh, for sure. It's super collaborative. The set buyer works really closely with the production designer.
Right. The production designer is the one who has the overall vision for the film's look.
Exactly. They're like the grand architect of the aesthetic, and the set buyer helps them bring that vision to life.
So a lot of back and forth brainstorming sessions, making sure everyone's on the same page.
Totally. And that's where being a good communicator is key. You know, a set buyer might need to really advocate for a specific prop.
Oh, interesting. Like, explain why it's totally crucial to the scene or the character.
Exactly. Or, sometimes budgets are tight, so they need to be creative and find workarounds.
Okay, so now I'm picturing this. Frantic phone calls, last-minute runs to antique shops, maybe even like bidding wars at auctions. Am I close?
You're getting warmer. Those things definitely happen. But RoleCatcher mentions that tech has shaken things up a bit.
Oh, right. It's not just dusty antique shops anymore.
Exactly. They still play a role. But nowadays, set buyers are using all sorts of cool tech, too.
Like, what, 3D printing, VR, holograms?
Think a little less sci-fi, a little more practical. 3D printing is huge, though.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah, if they need a super specific one-of-a-kind piece, they can sometimes just, print it out.
That is so cool. It's like they get the best of both worlds, the thrill of the hunt for those unique finds, and the precision of technology.
Totally. And it means things can get done a lot faster, which is essential in the film world.
Right. Time is money and all that. But all this new tech, it must mean constantly learning and adapting.
Oh, 100%. Tech in this field changes so fast, so a good set buyer is always on top of the latest tools. But
But what?
they can't just rely on tech alone. They need that deep understanding of design and history, too.
Right, to make smart choices about when to use a replica and when to hunt down the real deal.
Exactly. It's a really fascinating mix of old and new.
It really is. Now, we've talked about how tech has changed how set buyers find things, but has it changed how they actually work on set?
Totally. With so many productions using digital cameras and even like virtual sets, the way they dress a set needs to work with all that tech.
That's a good point.
Right. They got to think about how something will look on a green screen or how it'll interact with CGI later on.
So it's not just about how a prop looks in person, but also how it exists within this digital world.
Exactly. It adds a whole other layer to the job.
It's mind-blowing when you think about all the factors they juggle, even for the tiniest details on screen.
Right.
But let's be honest, the really fun part is picturing them out there, finding those perfect pieces.
Oh, yeah. The treasure hunt.
Exactly. So are we talking like strict historical accuracy for every single thing?
Well, it kind of depends on the project. you know?
Okay, that makes sense.
For historical dramas, accuracy is everything.
Yeah.
Every detail matters, from the silverware to the buttons on a uniform.
Oh, wow, I can imagine. That must be so much pressure.
RoleCatcher had this one example. The set buyer had to find, get this, historically accurate chamber pots.
Chamber pots. Now that's dedication.
Right. Talk about above and beyond.
I can only imagine the research that went into those chamber pots. So what about like sci-fi or fantasy? They must have a bit more creative freedom.
Oh, totally. For those genres, it's all about, like, letting their imaginations run wild.
Yeah, they're not bound by history, so they can really experiment.
Exactly. Shapes, textures, materials, the sky's the limit. They basically get to create whole new worlds.
And even in more, I don't know, everyday settings, they can still put their own spin on things.
Oh, absolutely. Like, they might use props to, hint at a character's personality or their past.
Subtle, but so effective.
Right. RoleCatcher talked about this one set buyer who used all these warm colors and comfy furniture for this family drama.
Oh, to create that cozy, lived-in feeling.
Yes. But for a thriller, they'd probably go with, like, colder colors and unsettling art, to create that sense of unease.
Wow, I never really thought about it like that. They're basically visual storytellers.
Exactly. They add these layers of meaning through the stuff you see on screen.
It's incredible. But speaking of stories, what about the challenges? RoleCatcher must have some good ones about, like, last-minute disasters.
Oh, yeah, tons. They mentioned this one where the set buyer was working on a period piece, right?
Okay.
And they realized, super last minute, that they needed this very specific writing crop.
Oh, no. I bet those aren't easy to come by.
Nope. And filming was about to start. They ended up finding a collector online, hours away.
Oh, no. So stressful.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
They had to arrange a middle-of-the-night courier to get it to set on time.
Talk about a close call.
Right. Definitely sounds like you need to think on your feet in this job and have some serious problem-solving skills.
For sure. And not just for finding things, but also for safety. RoleCatcher mentions that a lot, especially with, like, antiques or potentially dangerous props.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Safety is huge.
Right.
Antique firearms are like a whole other level of responsibility.
Oh, I bet.
Even if they're just props, they have to be checked by a weapons expert to make sure they're, totally safe.
Right. Can't have any accidents on set.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not just weapons. They have to think about anything that could be fragile, anything that could, potentially cause harm.
So they're kind of like safety inspectors on top of everything else.
In a way, yeah. They have
Yeah.
to assess risks and make sure the set is a safe place to work.
It's amazing how much responsibility they have. But safety aside, I imagine sometimes the challenge isn't just finding the right prop, but actually, making it exist in the first place.
Oh, all the time. Directors can be pretty imaginative.
That's one word for it.
Right. So sometimes they need something that doesn't even exist, and it's up to the set buyer to figure it out.
Oh, wow. That sounds like a fun challenge, though.
RoleCatcher told this one story about a futuristic weapon.
Okay.
The director had this very specific vision, but it was, like, totally out there.
Yeah.
Nothing even remotely similar existed.
So what did they do? Did they, like, build it from scratch?
Pretty much. They got a prop maker involved, and they used a bunch of different techniques.
Oh, wow. That's impressive.
Right. Found objects, 3D printed parts, custom fabrication, the whole 9 yards.
So it seems like some set buyers even specialize in those one-of-a-kind creations.
Totally. Some love the research and history, some love the creative problem solving.
It's cool how diverse the field is. But for someone who's interested in breaking in, it must be a bit daunting. Like, where do you even start? It feels very much like a who-you-know kind of industry. It does seem like a field where experience and connections are, like, everything.
Yeah, it can feel kind of like a closed club from the outside. But RoleCatcher actually had some really practical advice.
Oh, good. So what do they suggest for aspiring set buyers?
Well, they break it down into stages, which I thought was helpful.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Like, you're not going to just jump straight into being, headset buyer for a huge film right out of the gate.
Right, you got to pay your dues.
Exactly. It often starts with internships or, like, entry-level positions, like being a runner or a buyer's assistant.
So those are all about being on set, seeing how things really work.
Yep. And, of course, meeting people, making those connections.
Oh, yeah. Networking is huge in any creative field.
Totally. And, as you get more experience, you move up the ranks. Junior buyer, then maybe mid-level buyer, more responsibility, bigger budgets.
So you're proving you can handle not just the creative side, but also the logistics, the money side of things.
Exactly. And then, some people might decide to specialize. become the go-to person for a certain type of production or prop.
Right, like you might have set buyers who love digging into historical research and others who are all about like those futuristic gadgets.
Exactly. Or, someone might really connect with this specific genre like sci-fi or fantasy. And with all these streaming services popping up.
Oh, that's right. More shows, more movies, more need for set buyers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you're passionate about a particular era, a genre, even just a type of prop, there might be a niche for you. And they stress this a lot. Build a strong portfolio.
That's like your visual resume, right? Shows off your skills and style.
Exactly. Even if you're just starting out, work on student films, do your own photo shoots, anything to build that portfolio.
That's such a good point. It's a way to experiment, show off your creativity, even without a big budget.
Totally. And that's what being a set buyer is all about,
Yeah.
that passion for storytelling.
It's been so eye-opening learning about this role with you. I don't think I'll ever watch a movie the same way again.
Me neither.
Yeah.
You start noticing all those little details.
I know. It's like a whole hidden layer of filmmaking. So to everyone listening, next time you're watching something and you see a cool prop or a beautifully decorated set, take a second to appreciate the set buyer. They're the unsung heroes, adding so much to the stories we love. And hey, who knows? Maybe this deep dive has inspired a future set buyer out there. It's a fascinating career for anyone who loves film, design, and the magic of storytelling.